Every year, millions of Americans are displaced by natural disasters. If they're lucky, they crowd out of state with their friends and family. If they're not so lucky, they could end up in a homeless shelter. The thing is, though, disasters aren't just two-week problems. It takes months, years, to get back to what life was like before. Bottom line, we lack dignified and affordable housing after a disaster. 4 months later, FEMA housing arrives. Single-use trailers in a dirt lot hundreds of miles away. Why does this take so long? 3 reasons. 1, the products today require power and water utilities to be online, on-site. 2, they have extensive foundation preparation requirements. And 3, their transportation logistics are so costly, they will not pick them up, move them, and use them again, ever. And as a result, less than 1% of the survivors actually receive a physical home. The rest get a check and are told to just go figure it out. This isn't just our opinion, no. DHS audited FEMA, and they only had one recommendation in the report: provide a housing alternative that allows survivors to be close to home and is cost effective. And that, audience, is what we are building. A new world where housing can be on demand for anyone, anywhere, at any time.
And we're doing it with the Uplift Microhome. The Microhome is a highly engineered housing unit designed to address those 3 critical bottlenecks of current disaster housing. The Microhome is off-grid capable with an onboard battery and water reservoir, eliminating the requirement for power and water utility hookups. The Microhome has a self-leveling base, allowing it to be deployed on uneven terrain with minimal foundation preparation. And the Microhome is forklift deployable, dramatically simplifying delivery, installation, and deactivation to the point where you can economically recover, refurbish, and redeploy the unit. We actually built one. This isn't an idea. It's physical. NBC came to check it out to show the world what's inside.
All of this fits in 60 square feet. You've got a bed, a bathroom, a shower, hot water, a kitchen table, and it all runs on battery power. Once it lands, it levels itself. No foundation, no construction. The units are designed to fit 4 or 5 on a flatbed, then a forklift drops it where it's needed.
And now that we've actually built this, we're confident that we can manufacture and sell this product at a cost similar to that of the cheapest travel trailer while delivering housing in just hours rather than months. Our square footage is smaller, but we're designing for temporary transitional housing, not permanent. In fact, we expect the marginal cost of redeploying to a new disaster, even with today's diesel prices, to be greater than an order of magnitude less expensive than current solutions. And just this past week at the FEMA Review Council, Secretary of Homeland Security Mark Wayne Mueller called for a product exactly like ours. He said they're looking for something they can take from one disaster to another. This hasn't existed until we just built it.
Uplift Microhome will be a featured exhibitor at the largest disaster relief conference in the US. They let us in without even having delivered a product yet. And when I say tomorrow, I mean tomorrow, literally. I was in Florida this morning, and it is on the exhibit hall floor. And right after this competition, Trevor and I are taking a red-eye to talk to the disaster relief managers and the people who write checks for temporary disaster housing. Now, I want to be clear on the business. We will engineer and manufacture this product in the United States, and we will sell it for profit in a market size that's already $20 billion alone just for temporary and disaster housing. Now, this is just the beginning. There are so many people that need better housing. It's not just disaster relief. Seasonal workers, construction like AI data centers, and of course, homelessness. Now, you might be saying manufacturing's hard. We are the right team. I was at SpaceX for 5 years. I mass-produced the Starlink network. I've enabled anyone to have internet on Earth. Trevor spent 5 years at Tesla scaling vehicle electronics. We do mass production. So, let's end disaster homelessness. Thank you.
Great presentation. How do you guys know each other?
We both were accepted at MIT. I picked correctly. He picked Harvard.
We met at the admit day and got into a big argument about which school to choose, and we stayed in touch after that.
You talk about how long people are unhoused when there's a disaster and the cost of moving that stuff. Do you really think that these buildings, how long do you think someone would live in it, and do you really think that you could clean it up and refurbish it and actually use it later? Is it, yeah.
Well, we do think so. It hasn't been done before. That's why we built one. But we do expect, I mean, obviously I would invite you to come, it's in Florida now, but we do expect for people to live up to probably a year, sometimes longer, depending on who's living there. And yes, we can definitely design it to be refurbished. You do the right material selection on the inside, you can clean it very quickly, be very economical.
What's the biggest open question or point of confusion from your potential customers?
People would often ask about water. That is most likely the question. It's the only consumable in this product. And when we do research on disaster supply chains, some states handle it better than others. But there is a precedent for delivering 300-gallon palletized water tanks. And we expect to be drawing that through an inline pump into our microhome.
Talk to us, one of the big features here seems like no plumbing. You know, everyone has to do number twos, which gets a little scary. So like, how does the toilet work?
Yeah, the toilet's my least favorite, and we will engineer a better toilet, just to be clear. It's a two-part compostable, though, so it's actually quite manageable as is. It's just not up to, I think, our standards yet. But it separates both the pee and the poop, and you essentially can just manage it yourself. You take it out when you're done, throw it out. And it's pretty good. I just don't think a dignified toilet is one where you can kind of see what you did before. So we're going to engineer a new one. That would be our biggest engineering task for the next step.
Nice.
Yep.
Do you have any feedback from the government, which seems to be your biggest customer?
Yeah, the biggest conversation we've had right now is with a federal contractor named Copper River. They service several dozen companies that they sell into the government. It's a teaming operation where you work with them, and they're psyched. I mean, they're frequently seeing contracts that require off-grid housing that are not being fulfilled even years after they were first granted. And he's actually working directly, they're working directly with us to make sure that we're being exposed to these contracts.
After you are wildly successful in the US, when you think of other countries with disasters, are the component parts ones that are easily found and cheap there? Like, how would it work? How would a non-US expansion work?
Yeah, great question. The materials for this are going to be very similar to a car. We're going to manufacture it kind of like a car. Sheet metal forming, injection molding, casting. That's kind of going to be the long-term materials. Obviously, this one was wood, steel. It's different now for artisanal builds, but long-term, we see this coming off a line every couple seconds, just like a car, and those supply chains are around the world.
You could only pick one of the markets you showed. There was, homeless shelter, there's construction. What do you pick?
This company was started because of homelessness. It's just not the one you want to approach first. There's a trifecta of problems that we can talk for hours on for that. That whole stack of books in that picture there was to understand that market, and it's hard, but we're going to get there.
Thank you so much. The first place prize winner, the winner of $100,000 and the MIT 100K Entrepreneurship Competition. Uplift Micro Home. Congratulations.